Yes.
Question was that Guillermo del Toro? And the answer was yes.
A bunch of cats did some voiceover stuff on the newscasts. Guillermo did one about immigration. Wes Craven did one, and Simon Pegg and Savini and Stephen King did the "Get on Your Knee." A bunch of old buddies came out and did some voice work for us.
All right, so who's next? Another question. Okay, loud. I like loud.
Right here, right where? Yo.
What made you want to go back and start all over again like that? Because that's a bold move. You know, after Land of the Dead, which was this huge, enormous, epic, sort of compilation of everything, to go back and start all over again. What made you want to do that now?
Well, that maybe because it was so big and so annoying to have to be beholden to people. Universal was great when I made the film. They basically let me make it, but it was just, I wanted to go back to the roots. Also the idea, my zombie films that I've done have all come from ideas of what's happening in the world. They're sort of snapshots. I'm not trying to preach. I'm not trying to, I have this conceit that I'm able to sort of show me for what I am and show my opinions about things, but they're basically snapshots of what's happening in the world at the time. And I had this idea that suddenly this media thing is like, all of a sudden we're all reporters. CNN says, hey, if there's a flood in your town, shoot pictures and send it in. And everybody has, and there's all this unmanaged, mismanaged information that's out there, and you don't know true, false, whatever, it's opinion. And I find that it becomes, first of all, tribal, because you log on to the blogs that you agree with. But also, it's just, you get obsessed, you become obsessed with, maybe tragedy is striking, maybe I should be a news person and record this. And that's really what the film is about. And then so I thought I couldn't really do that in a world that had already been destroyed. So I felt that I had to go back to day one. And that's the way it sort of all came about. I apologize for the smallness, but it's like, as I said before, I love it, and it was so great, man, being able to do this without being beholden to anybody. And, thank you.
I believe we have a Knowles hand in the air.
Yeah, where's Harry?
Harry, you got a question?
References in pop culture and just setting this in a world where there's never been a zombie movie, because these people are facing zombies without any sort of comic books or your movies or any of the other movies about zombies. Talk about sort of making it literally that fresh.
A bit naive,
eh? Did everybody hear the question back there?
No, I actually went through this whole thought process about, can it possibly be? Because there's this, I never thought of these creatures. When I did Night of the Living Dead, I didn't call them zombies. They were flesh eaters. They were ghouls. They were, and then, I think it was, the French magazine Cahiers du Cinema that said these are zombies. And I was, wow, maybe they are. In my mind, zombies at that time, back in the day, were those guys in the Caribbean who were picking cotton for Lugosi, and I never thought of it that way. And all of a sudden, I'm credited for creating this new kind of zombie, and I never. In the second film, I actually used the word zombie for the first time, based on the influences of things that have been written. This time I actually thought, I said, how, all of a sudden these rules have become as idiomatic as vampire rules, zombie, dead guy, living dead, shoot him in the head, kill the brain, kill the ghoul. The rules have become sort of popular. And so the creature has become popular. A creature that I didn't, I don't take complete credit for inventing it because I didn't think that that's what it was. I basically, with Night of the Living Dead, ripped off an idea from Richard Matheson and said, I think I could do it better, naive as I was. Like that. But so I actually thought that can you go back to day one and have people be amazed by the fact that dead people are coming back to life? And I said, well, if you believe the people and if the story is told in a certain way, then maybe you could. And it's a gamble, man. This whole thing was an experimental gamble. I mean, when I first wrote the script, I wanted to do it. I really wanted to do it. I had a heartfelt desire to do it. I was willing to do it direct to DVD. And, some producers came around and said, no, let's stick a little more money and maybe we'll get it theatrical. And I said, no, man, I mean, nobody's going to buy this shit. But we did it. I shot it thinking, okay, whichever way it goes, I shot it, and I shot it the way I wanted to shoot it, and there was nobody on my back at all. And it's, I don't know. It ain't Blair Witch. It's much more theatrical. It's much more, I could do this. This will be boring, but so I won't. But it's a film I really wanted to make, and I thought, well, okay. I bought the conceit, and I said, I'll take a shot at it.
Hi.
Sorry, good night.
You have another? No, it ain't good night yet. We got another couple of questions in this crowd. Who do we got back there? Maybe somebody from the back that I'm ignoring. You in the back with your arm outstretched.
You can see this person?
I think so.
Where are you?
First of all, George, congratulations.
Sorry?
I fucking loved it.
Oh, man, all right.
There's no cursing. This is a family theater, sir. If you keep it PG level, I would appreciate it.
I'm curious about how much of this was improv on set and how much of this was designed, in the script, because obviously it seems like a lot of it's done on the fly, and I want to know how much of that is you and how much of that is the actors and everything.
Well, first of all, I couldn't have done it without a cast that could remember lines. I mean, in Land of the Dead, Dennis Hopper was in Land of the Dead. If I would have asked him to do a 5-page scene, forget about it. The actors were wonderful. I mean, I could have asked them to get up on stage and do the whole script, top to bottom, in a 1-act, and they would have been able to do it. So that's the only way I was able to do it. The basic scripted scenes, for example, the scene when they go to Deborah's house and she's turning from the point she can't figure out the alarm signal all the way through the garage, all that is a single shot. And the camera people deserve so much credit for it, all the way through where the kid attacks her. And I couldn't have done it without an amazing camera crew and an amazing cast, a cast that was able basically to perform this like a play. Now, the other stuff, all the narration, that's where, Michael Daugherty, my editor, and I we would sit there. I mean, we would get hung up for months saying, well, what do we have to say? Should we have narration at all? Should we put no narration? It was all the intermediate stuff. Everything else is in the script, and it was with a spit and a prayer in the script, saying, I don't know if we can ever make this shot. But these guys made the shots. I mean, so all the basic narrative story points and the scenes with the cast are scripted, and they're in the very original script. It's the narration and the news stuff and the stuff where all my buddies came in and did voices, and it's all that shit that we glued on top of it. But the rest of it, the narrative sequences were all scripted, and they're amazingly we were able to